Bet Sharukkin, Son of Perdition, by Alan Bonk. Chapter 15. Paul, King of Jerusalem. Paul was looking out on the city, his city, on a palatial balcony. One of his generals was beside him, reporting something. Paul burst out laughing. "So, that's where they are. They're hiding under a rock," laughed Paul. The general responded, "We'll be prepared to eliminate them all tomorrow." "No, no," Paul said emphatically. General asked, "Sir?" "No, don't kill them right away. They're not going anywhere. They'll be hungry and thirsty in a short time. Then we can destroy them any time we wish," Paul stated. The Temple Mount, only days later. All the Muslim structures were being demolished. "I have a lot to do in Jerusalem, my world capital," Paul boasted. Paul's men also moved into the West Bank area of the Palestinians. His men roughed up and disarmed a Palestinian police officer. "I have no tolerance for Islam of any form. They are dangerous to me," Paul said. In Gaza, a man was pleading into a TV camera in tears. "The Palestinian nation is completely dissolved. It is no more." A Sky News reporter was with an irate political activist. He reported Hamas and others thought that the fall of Jerusalem was good news for them. Their enemy, Israel, fallen. The activists cried, "That illusion was short-lived." Paul turned on them. "The Crusaders have returned, and the Israeli government is being treated just as poorly," responded the reporter. Back at the Jewish temple, Father Ibrahim entered the temple. Paul's men followed behind. They proceeded to remove the furniture, altars, tables, and curtains. They were all dumped outside. Father Ibrahim commanded that the implements for handling the sacrifices were to remain in place. The priest walks towards a pig carcass. "Perfect. We will use this as the last sacrifice to Jehovah, a fitting sacrament to a defeated God," the priest stated. He continued to redecorate the temple's holy place. He placed Paul's image in front of the center of the sanctuary and a smaller symbol of the Assyrian god Ashur to his right hand. Now, back in the old city, the corpse of those two prophets began to move. After 3 days, they stood on their feet. "They are alive." A loud voice came thundering from above. It spoke, "Come up here." Two prophets began to rise into the air. They both rose till they disappeared into a cloud. The people watching the event were too stunned to speak. Then the fear hit them. A woman fled the area as quickly as she could. The woman, looking very upset, reported what she saw to Father Ibrahim. The woman was now hysterical, and she's relaying what she saw. "An illusion, a trick to scare the public." The priest's voice was heavily irritated. "I know what I saw," the woman exclaimed. Of course you do, the priest agreed, and walked away from her towards a large statue of Paul in the temple. He looked up in admiration. The response had been remarkable. Virtually everyone that went through the marking ceremony bowed and worshiped the image of Paul. The priests found that the marking ceremonies were being interrupted. He hears a young woman shouting. "Stop! Stop!" shouted the young woman. The priest found the guards pointing their gun at an old man on the floor. "Papa, please do it. Just bow and swear allegiance. Please," pleaded the young woman. The old man spit at the statue and cried, "Jerusalem is spiritually unclean like Sodom." Moments later, a gun blast was heard faintly from outside. Later, back inside the temple, a small child and her mother were waiting in line to get their markings. When someone completes the ceremony, he or she is given a mark in their skin to indicate citizenship in the New World Order, the mother stated. The child responded, "I want that one, Mama." And she pointed to a teenager with an Assyrian star marked on her forehead. "No, that's the lowest level, dear. The second level is the king's name written in Aramaic, and the third is his name written in the number 666. That's what we want to get," the mother added. "Will it hurt?" the child asked. "No, it doesn't seem to. Besides, without having one of these marks in your skin, you can't buy or sell anything. We would be locked out of society. We don't have much choice," explained the mother. The child exclaimed, "Mama, look!" And the child points at Paul's statue. The demons were making the image talk and look alive. The people who came to worship were amazed by the image. They did not understand how it was happening. Father Ibrahim flashed a stern look to the demons to keep them in line. Since the removal of the Christians, they felt much freer to manifest themselves. Paul and Father Ibrahim were meeting in Paul's spirit office to discuss some disturbing spiritual developments on the earth when Asher made his traditional light show entrance. This time, he had no angelic consorts. He folded his wings and stood facing Paul and Father Ibrahim beside the desk. They looked more irritated than impressed. Asher spoke. "I'm pleased to see that you two found space in the temple for my symbol, however small it is." Asher was clearly angry and staring directly at Father Ibrahim. Paul spoke up. "I felt it was the least we could do. After all, it's not every day that a fallen angel is honored in the Jewish temple." Asher was surprised by Paul's insolence, but did not lose his temper. "So, you're sticking up for each other. I suppose that's good. But you two are really full of yourselves. You could get in trouble." Asher hesitated. He looked to the side and then back at Paul. Paul did not hesitate. "I have honored you with my wealth and given my time to you, and I am grateful that you helped us establish Assyria again. But I will not worship you. You are not a god. You are an angel, a mighty angel to be sure, but not a god. I intend to show you and Jehovah that I am the God of this world." Father Ibrahim looked at Paul in disbelief, not because of what he said, but he was amazed that Paul could actually say those things to Asher. He dropped his head, expecting Asher to explode. But, to his surprise, he didn't. He held his anger and began to explain himself. "Yes, I am a fallen angel, and my name is Halel, or Lucifer. I am at war with Jehovah Elohim. I served the God of heaven until I questioned his very nature. He claims to be self-existent, the I am that I am. I don't believe he is omnipotent or omnipresent. Jehovah has predicted the outcome of all these current events," Asher stated. Paul interrupted Asher. "There are literally millions of angels on and around the earth right now." "Who are they?" Paul asked. Asher responded, "They are the fallen angels from heaven, which supported me at my trial. They are fighting to hold the earth." Paul interrupted Asher again. "Your angels are in full retreat. You expect them to stop God's anointed angels?" Asher, now, speaking in full anger, "I am preparing to lead this world and everyone in it for the final battle. Paul, you, Father Ibrahim, and your armies belong to me. I am also commanding several armies of Nephilim, which are hidden and waiting to join the battle. If I fail, you will fail too. Judgment by fire." Asher left in a flash of light. Paul and Father Ibrahim took a deep breath and returned to their meeting. "Have you instituted the marking program on the global level?" Paul asked Father Ibrahim. "Yes, but the kings of the East, China, and others are mustering a massive army and are marching this way. They've even received notice that 3 of our allies are refusing to cooperate. 3 of the 10, Father Ibrahim replied. "Go out to the Euphrates and make a kill zone along the river. Use all the weapons you need to utterly annihilate them. It's time to call the herd, the world. They cannot be allowed to cross the river. Our allies in Europe, if they still feel rebellious after they see this, then destroy their capitals, reduce them to rubble. Tear them up by the roots," Paul commanded. He continued, "By the way, remember that new stronghold in Jerusalem? Get it built." End of chapter 15.